we're back now live. Okay, sorry folks, we don't know what happened. We seem to have got cut off. Uh,
All right. So anyway, we can whatever is the.
let's yeah, let's wait for everybody to come back.
No worries. I'm enjoying this conversation with Kuya Tom, my
I,
idol.
it's been a great conversation. I know it's just like Saturdays, but better, better in a sense that we got more audience.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There's a big question out there that's written before we rebooted and then it's all gone. Was who do I consider my contemporaries in FMA?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Are we on?
Yes, we are on now.
Okay. That was a question by Anthony.
Yeah.
Well, everybody is a contemporary, I think, so but I don't want labels because then it is only a Pandora's box. But the bottom line is uh, anybody who actually teaches out there should, especially in the limelight of like seminars and doing a lot of these clips that they do, they're the best, whatever. I mean, everybody's entitled to what they believe, no problem. Even whatever is there on TV or they're doing all these seminars full time, blah blah blah. But here's the bottom line. I think all of us should open ourselves up to the movement of in sparring, right? Because in sparring is when we're able to test the skills of what we believe we have in our system or in the style that we do.
Hmm.
So there's only one way to address this is to prove to ourselves whether it works or not.
Yeah.
So a lot of people who is afraid to do sparring because they're going to get embarrassed or they would say that they are I'm going to do this for Rudy's sake, all right? Just for Rudy. Rudy, what's up? I'm still on the live interview. Huh? It's still not on?
Still not on?
Oh. Okay, I got to go. It started from the beginning, it says. It's not live?
No,
Hello?
I just
It's not live.
it says here live.
All right, it says live. So,
I'm gonna
well,
send I'm gonna send it in Lameco.
okay. All right. Thanks, Rudy. We'll figure it out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can see Vaughn already replying.
See? So it repeated. Balik ulit. See?
Balik pogi ulit, mga kuya.
It started from when they click it again, it started from the very beginning. And John says here, I'm seeing it live, so I don't know anymore. So I leave that to you.
No, I posted again. I posted the this part now at the group, Lameco group, so they should be able to come back in. Let's just wait for a few minutes or a few moments before we start. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, so far it's a very interesting discussion with you because we're managing to address certain issues like, for example, training, specificity of training, making sure that you train how you want to fight. Let's say, okay. So, which is a very good, actually, thing to address, especially for the FMA community. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Josie said, "There we go."
Josie! All my love to you. I'm going to see you on the 19th, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She 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 won the was this the training uh training toys from that I donated for the raffle. So I told her I'm going to send it when I get to Tracy because it actually works cheaper than me like sending it from here.
Yeah,
So
correct.
Glenn has been asking me to say this. Yell out susunod when switching topics like in PNS. Susunod na kabanata. Is that right, Glenn? Sorry, I can't shout it.
Joke, huh? Private.
Parang abangan sa susunod na kanto.
Succeed.
See, Roger is doing it much better than me.
All right. So,
Okay.
what's the
All
story?
right. So as I was saying earlier on, okay, it has been really like an interesting discussion because we're managing to get through like the more specific um, methodologies in training. Okay. So for just to segue it a little bit, um, for those who actually don't know, Guru Roger has been running his Zoom classes every weekend, every Saturday. Okay, and I think that's going on for about 2 years now. Yeah, 2 years now.
Almost by March. Then that's when the
Um,
pandemic really started. So,
yeah, yeah. So I've got a question from Dragon here. You have been running weekly Zoom classes for almost 2 years now, and there are people who have been doing them for that entire time. What is the secret of your success in that sort of student retention?
well, that is actually very much more. It's a personal thing about the student who find it successful, because if I look at it from the point of view of am I really successful? Uh, to those people, that's why they stuck it out with me, because that's what they believe. But otherwise, I would have had 10,000 students, right? Not a lot would believe in what I do. So maybe that is subjective as far as whether it's successful or not. But the thing is, I go for not even systems or lineage, or it goes with applied combatives, and then we reverse engineer because it has to be something that's applicable, executionable, and the mantra of you train how you fight how you train. So
Mm,
the thing that we do in the Zoom class is based on attribute development. So we do this a lot of repetition, but based on good science of leverage and all that stuff. So because at the end of the day, if you get the chance to spar with anybody, even a spar, right, is that all of what we develop and has earned developing that attributes is going to give you the advantage. You can talk all you want for whatever belief or system you have, but you can't pull it off in real time. Doesn't mean anything.
mm,
I even call it martial arts, right? When you start to go fight, you go brawling, not with a weapon, man. You chose this FMA with weapons, combatives. You cannot go trade blows when you're talking about again your philosophy and objective of martial arts being self-defense, and you're doing this 1,000 times. Like, why is gonna mess up with your internalization? That is your skill is what you are. You eat what you eat, right? Garbage in, garbage out, whatever is the saying. So be worried about your objective, because your internalization is what's going to come out in your flow. There's no other way around,
mm,
right?
mm,
So
mm,
but that is much more of a personal selection. So I select this one. Yeah, I'm into applied combative. So the guys who stuck it out with me, I have expectation. I hope you're doing your due diligence, because there's no way around it. There's no such thing as, like the Matrix with blue pill, red pill. If you
yeah.
oh, you gotta earn this, man. But I wish Keanu Reeves picked the blue pill, because why, why not take Viagra, right? I mean, Viagra. Anyway, we move on.
Yeah.
Hey, Robert. So, okay. What's the next question?
Okay. I'm just looking at if there were like any other questions from the first one. Um, okay. I, Phone said no training necessary. Laging tigas.
In my blue pill thing. So there you go. Okay. Basta, you got
Yeah,
other
yeah,
questions?
everybody's
Brother
just
Basta?
coming back now.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
brother,
Yeah.
brother Alvin, shout out to you, sir.
Hi, Alvin. Yeah, I wish I got more time because I know Alvin is from San Francisco, but I won't have enough time to meet up with everybody. But ah, my question for you is this: What? Nagpo-fold na ng labada. I just finished ironing clothes, baste. No, okay. Now, oh yeah, that was our lesson last night. Tanchada, tanchada. Okay, what inspired you um, to come up with Lameco Astig as a brand?
Well, well, the thing is, it's not really a brand, but rather a continuation of my belief in Lameco. But Edgar was left this world at a very young age, you know, the age of 37, way back 1997.
Yeah.
So there's so much that I don't know what he would have taught me or what, right? So I cannot say this is purely Lameco because Lameco is Edgar Solite as Bruce Lee is Jeet Kune Do. Jeet Kune Do is Bruce Lee. Lameco
Mm,
is Edgar Solite. So I got to put this as thing. If you want to go into the curriculum, strictly curriculum of Lameco, there are my SOG brothers better than I am when it comes to again the 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 levels, scholastic or academic point of view of curriculum based. They're better than me, but I have my version of Lamek Wastig. What Edgar gave me a better student, made me a better student. But I chose the say, if I may, applied Lameco. So I'm into the movement of fighting. So I was fortunate enough to have the videos of what we had before from our sessions with Edgar, with my brothers in the SOG. So with the videos that I had, even early on in the 1990s, up to actually present time, I have videos. I use that opportunity to even teach myself because I don't have Edgar Sulites. I don't have it.
mm,
Although I had the blessing of being able to be coach for a period of time by give credit where credit's due by
yeah.
Sir Olabides, by the late Grandmaster, and I say this with all my heart, Grandmaster Christopher Ricketts and Grandmaster Ray Galang. I take for what I can, but for what they have given and what they shared with me. But the rest of this learning thing is up to the individual, right? So that only made me a better
Yeah.
student because I don't have them beside me to spoon feed me all the time.
Hmm.
Get up of more than a dozen, 100, maybe 1,000 times, and he opened up a lot of perspectives, point of views, the weaknesses. I learned from my failures. That's why in seminars I always open up like I got hit by more than all of you combined in this room. Whether the room is 10 people, 30 people, or even 300, 500. Like for instance, when I go to big events, like so I would say that, and I don't get there's no ego here. I just want to
Mm.
inspire people that through failures is that when you become better.
That's where you learn.
That is the lessons of how we are right now in this world of humans, right? We
Mm.
learn from mistakes because from our mistakes, from our experiences, we get so much information of what works and what does not. How are you going to base your science or your doctrine or your system of beliefs if you don't have the information to back up what you are doing in the adage of you fight how you train how you fight when you don't test it? I
Yeah.
mean, is this all about talk? I mean, it's ego, right? So I mean, if you are true to what you say you are, you like empty your cup. Everybody, every system says empty your cup, but they don't test
Mm.
the skills so that they can learn better. They could be better. They could even improve for what they know, even in the same lineage. But so when I do seminar, I'm really open to spar because it teaches me a lot. Up to this point, I am the most, I am ever the best student of anyone in especially when it's sparring. I will always be a student. But of course, I have the leverage because if it's applied science, that's what I focus, then that is what
Mm.
I'm sharing. That's what I'm teaching. And I will explain to them and I'll break it down why it works. But it's not
Yeah.
rocket science. It is actually more of what you missed out on the certain elements that you did not put in your methodology of training. And
Mm.
that seems to be so confusing because the ego gets in the way. Or better yet, you never really put yourself to a test. So
Mm.
what
Mm.
good is it that you go for plyometrics when you don't really know the wisdom, the essence of the result of it? Because
Yeah.
the lack of information, the lack
Yeah.
of experience, the lack of understanding. Because you shut yourself up to the testing aspect of it
Mm.
rather than testing yourself in the actuality of self-defense in the street. That is, you never know because the guy might have a much more leverage than you. When he does this, you don't have a chance.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it's a better environment than within, right? Your brother,
Yeah.
your group, you test, learn from others too. So I don't know about that. If we
Exactly.
don't have sparring, I would get beat up. I
Yeah.
learn more than you think you would from beating me up. I would learn more because of my failures makes me a better fighter, a better student. And that is a continuing journey. We say you enter your cup, but the lack of these things actually gets in the way. So that's
Mm.
my rant, mother-in-law rant.
Yeah. And it's the drill sergeant rank. Yeah. Two comments here. One from Rudy said the honesty of sparring or the honesty of spar, which is really true.
And here's
Eh,
the thing, if any of you will have the chance and the blessing to get together, I do hope that you test, give it a shot, spar, kick my ass. I will only get better.
mm,
That's it.
yeah,
I hope,
that's
I
true.
hope you feel the same because that is the nature of what we are to be better, to better ourselves. And when we say we teach, we share, what's a better way of sharing wisdom and experience if we go through this, right? So
Mm, very true. Very true.
exactly. So John said, "You win or you learn." So it's whether
Yeah.
you win or you lose, it's a win-win all the way. It's,
Yeah. Exactly.
that's what,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. You learn from the pain. You learn from the experience.
But still, at this moment, I don't know how many people will get into the spa really. So
Mm.
it's not about
I
you.
think. Yeah. I think one of the things that I would say makes your Zoom lesson
Mhm.
good is because you approach it from a coaching standpoint. So you're basically not teaching, okay, but you're basically like coaching people, and that's why you want to make sure that everybody is doing their utmost best, and even when you give critique in the Zoom lesson, it basically makes you really think hard of, yeah, this is what I'm doing. So it's one of the things that I really find um, fantastic with your Zoom lesson.
Uh,
So yeah.
Thank you. Um, I really I really chose to have that relationship with the guys attending my Zoom as a coach. So you have direct feedback because the coach has
Mm,
a relationship with the
mm,
fighter under him or the student under him. So that's a better way of having that relationship is the coaching status, yeah, the
yeah.
coach to the students. So there's interaction, there's a question you can go, and there's direct feedback of correcting. Because there's no
Mm,
point in doing 1,000 times of repetition if it's a repetition of error. If it's a repetition of error, you are a grandmaster of error. You definitely
Yeah.
you're good at it. So
Yeah. It's basically what you develop. It's the habit that you get in.
it's,
Errors.
it's a question of uh, the question of whether it is good repetition or bad repetition, right? So
Mm. Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
Either way, like
Yeah.
I said, you win just the same. Win-win. It's always
Mm.
a win-win. If you lose, but people don't want to do the sacrifices. They don't when it comes to repetition, internalization, and there's a lot of effort, man.
Oh yeah.
That's not
It's
easy because I really would prefer sitting down watching SpongeBob with chips. I'm gonna go big. I would rather do that, but it takes some sacrifice. But if you really think about the reward that you will get, the rainbow, the pot of gold at
yeah.
the end of the rainbow, or the light at the end of the tunnel, then it brings you joy to the repetition because you know that there's going to be good payback. But
Yeah. That's
the
true.
way I look at it is that I don't base my success on how many people comes in the door, right, to train with me, or whether I have a studio organization. It doesn't matter, because to me the fulfillment is in whether I did good training. If I did
Mhm.
some real good training for my conditioning, for myself, then I feel fulfilled. So if I feel fulfilled, I have joy in me. I have bliss, and that is
Yeah.
a lot of good things because that's the energy that I exude.
Yeah.
Good energy attracts good energy. So I get to meet.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that's why this one is also a blessing. So that's how I see things. So
Yeah. It's a good that basically you look at things in a more positive way. Yeah.
yeah, uh,
Okay.
it's a good question here by our brother Bastek. Go ahead, read it.
Yeah. Okay. Aside from Edgar, who are the next two you would consider as your greatest influence and or inspiration?
Thank you, Bastek. Good energy attracts good. We should talk soon, Bastek. Man, I miss our chats and together with your brother. Uh, the greatest influence. There's so many, man. You can't say next two, right? Even Bruce Lee is an influencer for almost anybody because we grew up really thinking our.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I know.
In fact, we back then. Of course, I'm older than you guys, obviously. Back then, when we were, I was a very young, small guy, or a small boy, watching those kung fu movies. Like they even have this poor dubbing, like, "What are you doing?"
Oh yeah, that's
Like
true.
Shaolin, those ninjas and all that stuff way back. So all of these are influencers. But as far as great, man, there's so many really good people out there that somehow has contributed to um, the uh, the position that I am now in. And Tatang is one, and so many, man. I even the other systems, believe me, from MMA standpoint, even boxing, Pacquiao is good. He's a influencer, but the guy who beat him Mexican 3 times too is somebody's a good influencer because he is a counter puncher. Can you? That is
No, yes.
stuck
Yeah.
on in a real time and speed. He can outwit you even as the best fighter of right. Man, he inspires me too. But there's so many out there that one of those that actually is here. Super Dan is one guy that
Yeah.
inspired me.
Super Dan is yeah.
I
Super
have
Dan is
this
good.
other book, that even has signed. Can you believe that, Super Dan? There's so many, but there's so many.
Okay. I've got a question for you. Uh, do you think there's a difference between approaching martial arts training as a teacher and as a coach?
It's just semantics. The most important thing is it's really your relationship to the individual. How do you carry this?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you are you arrogant? Are you Does it is it effective? To some people, it is effective because the point there is that this individual that's training under you, whether you are as a teacher or as a coach, is that whether he's hot-headed for his point of view, because he sometimes some students find it so hard to absorb you're break it down to the most simplest things. He gets it, and after 2 seconds he forgets. So sometimes you have to approach this as a drill sergeant, but
Yeah.
with good intentions. So
Yeah.
I can't say what approach because it depends on the individual. So
Hmm.
the idea here is that sometimes you got to get the guy, take him out of his best thinking,
Yeah.
because his best thinking is the reason why he cannot perform what he wants to learn from you, because of what he has done and accomplished, and what he has not done in life. That is his best thinking. He didn't plan his life to be a failure for life, but rather the lack of,
Hmm.
he wants to get into that. But his best thinking is most likely not to get him improved to a better situation, meaning a better fighter in the manner of how you want him to be or what he wants to be. Because most likely his best thinking is what is not going to get him out of that situation. You got to get, you need to get the best thinking of others.
Yeah.
So that's why you need to have good coaches and all that stuff. So the approach of the coach teacher depends on what is effective to that individual. So
To this. Yeah.
that is kind of subjective. So it depends.
Okay. It depends. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. And for example, if you want to develop a fighter, would you approach it um, as a coach or as a teacher? I know you said it's semantics, but there's still a difference way.
Well, there's a million variables in that, but if he wants to be a fighter, he has to. I'm going to use that semantics we use a lot, right? The MTO cup. So if you are sensitive and, oh, I get hurt, don't use that expression. I got some feedback of that. Somebody who wants to learn, and I didn't like your expression, and I wasn't malicious. I wasn't like cursing. I
Mhm.
wasn't, but in the manner of like, who's your daddy and all the stuff. But this person took it the wrong way. I don't think I like that, and you are doing that analogy of, whew. I said, you know what? I'm teaching from my own home. I have my own expression, and I think it's nothing malicious. Besides, this is not a corporate environment you're wherein there's that you will sue me, and this is my home. And if you are sensitive, um, I ask you, what is the purpose of you going through this? Because you want to be able to kind of protect yourself and stand up for it. And when it comes to a situation where self defense is what is needed for your survival,
Mm.
you want to be tough. And here you are, getting sensitive for an expression that I'm using because it's a little bit, it's actually more of inspiration. And you're sensitive. Then I said, I am not the coach for you. I'm not
Mm.
the teacher for you. Go seek it elsewhere, because I'm not going to change my style because of your sensitivity. It has to come from you. What you are you seeking? And I will give you my best, because to me, that is my bliss. So as
Mm.
to the guy who wants to be a fighter, uh, um, it has to come from you. You have to,
It's a two-way street.
yeah.
You need to meet in the middle.
You can't say that you want to be a good fighter, but in your own terms. The
Mm.
reason why you're not a good fighter, because at that moment it is all about your terms. You
Mm.
got to learn from the guy who's going to give you that coaching, right, or
Yeah.
teaching. So,
Yeah. That's true.
mhm.
That's true.
So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to work it. You have to work out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So while waiting maybe for other people to get those questions coming in, what are what are basically what is the future of Astig Lameco? I mean, as far as seminars, online lessons, or um, yeah.
Well, definitely, we still have that continuing education through the Zoom, and that's not even it's a workout. You know this, Rob, right? And
Yeah.
even Kuya D knows about this, and some of the other guys that has joined me. And it's a workout, man. But I definitely break it down so that you get to know the reason behind the workout. So it has to be applied based. So it's a continuing
Mhm.
every Saturday. If for some weekends that I can't be around because I'm elsewhere doing events or teaching or something like that, I made sure that I have replacements of good quality to so that the people attending that Zoom without me would be guided to the best of that time, right? One of the
Mm.
examples that I wasn't around, but they were given some good guidance is, of course, you, Tom. And
Thank you.
God was one of those too. And so there you go. It's continuing on, and I already have events that I've done in Northern California since last year. I have events here in Los Angeles, and of course, Texas is waiting for some confirmation, and
Ah,
some other parts in the U.S. But to commit myself outside the U.S. is a little bit difficult because of the quarantine situation or pandemic, whatever, right?
I know. I know.
So you don't want to get stuck in another country um, because it's beyond your control.
Yeah.
I want to say hello, my love and respect to
Uh,
Guro Vico. Man, I haven't met you, I haven't talked to you, but hopefully one day we get a chance. We're brothers in the art of illustration. Mhm. So,
Bastet made a comment here. Good fighter in your own terms can also be like Mayweather, who chooses his opponents.
correct.
Some organizadors also have not sparred at all or have not sparred beyond their own teammates.
Right. You see, it's this very good comment there, Basta. Um, you see, it's not about machismo, right? But it's about
Mm,
we test. We would know if what we believe works, and through honest performance, through a
mm.
non-compliant opponent, right? Not like I will you drill and then you call that sparring. That's a drill.
That's not sparring.
That's not. It has to be a non-compliant,
Yeah, environment. Yeah.
and they have their own minds freestyle, right?
Mm,
That is the best way because then part of that you go through that experience is the pressure, right? Uh, the element of timing, uh,
mm.
endurance management, layering, ingaños, setting up, the principle of rhythm, which is broken rhythms and all this stuff.
Yeah.
How are you going to get this to be part of your decision making if you haven't even done this, or much more the lack of? So let us not be afraid of failure because this is the most beautiful thing. Is when we fall, is when we learn. So and if it bothers you because you have a rank, something's wrong
Yeah.
with with
That's true.
with that line of thought. Then,
Mm,
but that is your choice. Who am I? The world does not revolve around my perceptions, my thinking, or what I believe. It's up to you. But to me, if you ask me, and you're talking about comparatives, maybe we'll have a little argument, but you will not beat me. I challenge you. You will not beat me in the world of buffet combatives because I am very good in buffet.
eat all you can.
I'm grandmaster of buffet doru. I will challenge all of you. I love you all. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I is just having fun. But
Yeah, okay.
what I'm
Um,
saying is all about from the heart. Don't be afraid to try because what are you gonna tell your kids if your kids are afraid to try it and they don't and they
actually,
experience failure? What are you gonna tell
mm,
them? What wisdom are you gonna share if you yourself don't even do that? What kind of
yeah,
philosophy are you sharing?
yeah,
There's only one life because you
mm,
can't say next life I'll be better. That's not true.
yeah,
This,
yeah.
this
It's a good thing actually that you said that because it just really goes to show that your behavior, your habit in training will actually extend outside of the four walls of your training. It will extend how you perceive life, how you basically like deal with things in life as well.
Is right. Isn't that the beautiful thing about martial arts? Because it teaches us a lot of beautiful things about philosophy of life, about the experiences of challenges, of struggle, of overcoming depression and gratefulness, loyalty, admiration.
Mm.
That's martial arts will all give you that. Only if you have an open mind. So so that's my
Yeah.
man. There's some good questions here.
Yeah, there's one by Eric. What is the best way to develop a no tell strike in
Telegraphic,
your opinion?
telegraphic strike, in my opinion, it's not an opinion, but what I'm able to execute is the product of sound, methodology, non-telegraphic. If that's what you mean, Eric, but if that is your question, is not telegraphic is about like the guy in front of you, the combatant in front of you, cannot tell how exactly are you going to go do the offense or defense,
Mm.
because when
Yeah.
you telegraph your move, he will react according to your telegraphic movement to have the advantage of his response on you. But sometimes your telegraphing is to set him up too. So it's like
Mm.
chess, But the beautiful thing about having the discipline of non-telegraphing is you can switch it on and off. So,
Mm.
if you switch it on all the time, then the guy in front of you would be so cautious. He's not gonna try.
Yeah, because
He's not gonna
yeah.
give it. So it's all about also understanding behavior and responses. So there is that human aspect of sparring. You see how martial arts teaches us a lot of good things, man. And that's only the art of war as well, right?
Yeah,
And that is
that's
also
true.
backed up by the concept of OODA loop: observe, orient, decide, and act. How are you gonna get ahead of the OODA loop if the guy is able to see, anticipate your moves? He has to be the one guessing what you're doing, only for you to kind
Yeah.
of get a lot of options and engaños and layering, confusing him. So him always at the tail end and trying to figure out, you are already killing him every second of that
Mm.
opportunity of your sparring. So anyway,
Yeah.
so I have my rants. So yeah, blood coming out in your ears. Yeah.
Vaughn said, hard to become a fighter if mere words can hurt. Takes mental toughness to be one.
Who said that?
Vaughn.
Vaughn?
Yeah, Vaughn.
I had to become a fighter if mere words can hurt. Yeah, it does take mental toughness. But sometimes
Yeah.
we overanalyze. Like Nike's ad, just do it, right?
Yeah.
So the moment you analyze, it's so much analysis paralysis. Already do the repetition so that you get into that aspect of to think without thinking, right?
Mm.
But
Mm.
this is the problem with martial arts in general. We say we know about timing, we know about endurance, we know about heart, the patterns we know. But here you are in the test of performance sparring, even in the friendly sparring. It's not all about, when I say sparring, it's about killing an ego. No, it's not. It's just the exercise of two combatants in the non compliant environment.
Mm.
And here you are, when you do that, um, all of the things that you believe and has been teaching does not apply. So isn't that something that you will learn from? I got to put in more time so that the internalization gets deeper in you. And so therefore, the ultimate objective is to be able to pull it out, right? Under duress. So that's the
Yeah.
key. That's the key. Under duress. But this is where I don't agree to a lot of you when you say you know. And to me as well, but I've learned, I've changed. To know and not do is not knowing. But that is by Leo Buscaglia, a revered author. But that is a very, very beautiful adage that I have embraced as part of my model. To know and not do is not knowing. Meaning you say you know, but you're not able to execute. Is the same in math or arithmetic when you say 1 times 0 equals 0. So if you say you know engaño and feint and layering, you should be able to execute that. because you said you know, right? So it's not in the saying, but it's in the doing. So all of this, all of us guys, the martial arts should be the highest level of skill is in the motion. We can talk all we want, like this podcast or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But you can't execute. I don't know what truth is it in you that you are spreading, but again, each to his own. The world does not revolve around how I think. So that's how I.
It's a fair answer, really, because there's no point in saying you know something if you can't execute it.
Exactly, exactly.
So you have to start from making sure that you can do it under duress. Otherwise, you can't claim that you know it, or you can't claim that you can do it.
Maybe
It-
Eric is correct. He says to feel is to know. Well, I feel national, so you see, that's philosophy.
yeah.
So,
We've got a comment here from Craver. When I have the chance to train with someone from other systems, I want to learn all they have to share and want them to pressure test me to reach beyond my current ability and training habits. Actually, that is how it should be.
but we all say that, right? Who would say otherwise,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
But do we do it?
uh,
That's another thing.
continue on. What else is being said?
Um, yeah, it's just that they he wants them to pressure test him, so that basically at least the pressure testing comes from a different system, so he can go beyond his ability instead of only like receiving the pressure test from his own system, which of course at some point you get to you're comfortable with.
True.
So
So this is the way I think, and I like that the way his mindset is. To me, it's not about between it's a particular system or range. It is ultimately the performance, regardless of systems. That is supposed to be of the highest level. Because in street combative self-defense, does it really matter of what
no,
you are? This the bad guys. That's even I think better than us because that's the reason why they're in prison because they killed a lot of people and they're the one man standing, right?
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
are they black belts? Are they in any system? Are they no? But they're into the science of movement. They're into internalization. They're in actual. They're
they're embracing the violence.
well. That is one of the aspect of it. But I'm just saying,
Yeah,
saying that as an example because it does not require really a study of system or a style or degrees or ranks, but rather it is understanding motion. And you know what? A lot of those guys have really to that they use for their leverage. You know what? Is the the factor is it's about ambush.
yeah,
Is
that's what.
ambush is about element of surprise. So
Mm,
what good is your practicing martial arts if you are very telegraphic? You give
mm,
indication of what your intent is going to be on me. The thing is, your measurement of skill in your own context is because you hit the most, but you have pads, right? You have gears and all the stuff. So that is not.
yeah,
You should look at it, even if it's only training tools or you should really respect that of the highest level because you should look at it at, if it was real, would you behave in that manner? So there you go, right? So, but there's a lot of ways to look at it. So
yeah.
mine,
That's true.
mine is my opinion. So don't you guys don't please none of you should challenge me because I will challenge you to buffet. I already mentioned that. Then none of you
Is it on you?
no, it's not on me. It's on you guys to treat me. Then I challenge you. All of you are my brothers, so forgive me for my opinion, but this opinion is, of course, just my own, my 2 cents. So
Yeah.
my sharing.
Vico, yeah. Vico said the last man standing is the winner. Yes, of course. Okay. Um, Rudy said mentally makes the method.
Yeah. Um, uh, like the mental aspect of that is that you base your methodology also of the choice of applied base, right? So
Yeah,
your mindset is different from sports aspect of
yeah,
so
yeah. Okay, there's a question here from Glenn. Gurus, Roger, and Tom, did you as instructors ever learn a technique or strategy that you discarded but ended up putting back in your teaching?
yes, sir. This journey of martial arts is a continuous education because there's so many factors. You cannot really put a mark on something and that's it, the Bible. That is the reason why
Mm.
even in the history of martial arts in the entertainment world, right? um, it evolves, right? The UFC as an example, right? So it changed, it evolves a lot, and it's not just about being good in stand-up fighting, but then the ground fighting was the most important because it was being shown all over the world how superior it was, but for a short time. When everybody did
Mm.
that, they all resorted back to stand-up fighting. So it becomes a full circle. So to me, like in my examples, I'm gonna go telescope to my own example. Is that when I chose Largo, I also have to learn medio to corto and all the stuff changing. So when I also become strong with the because I was also being coached by the campus system, so it was Serrada. So I got into Serrada, but to me, I have to put in broken rhythm so that I become non-telegraphic with my style of this to this to this to this, all the beats and all the stuff. So it has to be a rhythm of broken rhythms. So yeah, it becomes full circle because every little bit of it becomes part of your flow. So
Yeah,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah. Glenn, on my part, there are certain things that I like put on the side because it doesn't work for me, but I have to put it back when I teach other people because it may actually work for other people. So that's why, especially with whether I teach as a particular style or combatives itself, I don't just disregard a particular technique or a particular move because it doesn't work for me, because it may work for other people as well. So that's why I keep it open.
Well, as a coach, you got to put it in that perspective that you put the cards on the table. So
Yeah,
they'll pick up
that's true.
what's best for them.
Yeah,
But at the same
yeah,
token, there's also a challenge to that because they don't
yeah,
know really much about what's best for them because they're still
yeah.
starting on the journey. So
Mm,
that
mm.
is also the same situation.
It's a balance. Yeah, it's a balance. Yeah, you have to basically like work it out as well at one point.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
and then also like play it according to what would work for them and not as well. So that's the beauty of coaching. Okay, I'm just gonna read the comment from Julius here. Just like the best fighters of all times, the NE plus the ultras, and then parallel like Sugar Ray Robinson. Sorry, it keeps on moving. Uh, Mayweather and El Finito Lopez. We have, we all have non-telegraphic listons like power ghost jabs. Most of their shots are non-telegraphic. Sure, it doesn't mean they don't use feints or hata.
Hata.
Yeah, hata. But I get your point, Kuya Roger. Non-tells is the way to go. When you have a tells, you can get Pac Marquez the fourth or Tate wavered.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Julius. Exactly. That's one of the examples I was saying about who are the people that inspired me. Uh, there's two sides too.
mm,
That's the Pacquiao, and there's the other one that beat Pacquiao, not necessarily,
yeah,
but kind of go toe to toe because he's one of the best counter punchers. It's amazing because these guys have the arsenals of all of the science behind them. That's why they're the best of the best. And what are these arsenals? This non-telegraphic conditioning, biometrics, and all that stuff, man. I'd rather listen to these guys, no, than listen to my mother-in-law. So that's the big difference. So they actually work the hardest with their internalization and their methodology, their concept, the warrior mindset that Rudy was saying mentally, and all this stuff. So all this comes to define your flow eventually. So
Mm.
hopefully you put that in the right mindset when you work out, because that gets into your DNA, right? So um,
Yeah.
when you
That gets into your muscle memory.
exactly, so that defines you. So and when I teach too, especially in the aspect of self defense, I tell people, even girls, right, even ladies, or regardless of age or status or position, that you got to put yourself into the mindset of arrogant, because it's better to be angry than fearful, because
Mm.
fear you consume, it will consume you. So
Yeah, it will consume you.
good
Yes.
decisions. So as human beings, even the most highly trained, like of the highest level, like maybe Navy SEALs, but military, police, and all this stuff. When they come into the situation, that being human, even animals, even lions, man, you see that in National Geographic. I didn't make this up. So even animals, they get that sense of panic or fear. But you know what?
Mm.
With animals, it's different because it's instinct. But with people, it's just natural. They get to that. But their training gets them to react or recover fast.
Yes.
So that
Yeah.
question of how fast do you recover? But that
Mm.
action is gonna get you dead. It's gonna
Yeah.
definitely will not change your position as the prey to predator. You will maintain the prey, and that is not a good decision. So to me, changing the mindset is all.
Exactly.
It's okay to
Exactly.
face, your being human, afraid and fearful, but get over it. Get over this, and do your training so you can go for a better decision, which is hopefully in the solution of the preservation of life, not only yours but your loved ones. So,
Yeah. As well. That's very true. I
but
fully agree with that.
wait, oh no, that's
But wait.
advertising.
Okay. There's a question here for from Mark. As a coach, do you adjust your system to the type of fighter, or do you force the principle of the system to the individual, changing consequently the natural way of fighting?
First of all, the guy came to you to learn of your pluses. So, what is the situation here? Can I be of a much more specific example, right? Example,
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
uh, if the guy is 500 pounds, I don't think the cardio aspect of combat cardio is gonna help him. So I have Jamie actually. He's heavy, but that man is a good fighter. So I tell him eventually the goal is for you to be able to shed, because it's all about fitness as well. It's health. It's all to
Mm.
for the goodness of the quality of life that we want to be eventually in the remaining years of our lifetime. And to what extent, we don't know. But in the meantime, do the cardio so it builds on the muscle, it makes you healthy, you become healthy, all this stuff. But definitely, that is still a disadvantage compared to the other guys that is not in your weight category. It's one third lighter, so therefore it's faster. So I tell him this is part of the answer. So I tell him then be good in the upper body movement, which is understanding of the blade, so the power of the wrist coordinated with the arm, with uh, eliminating unnecessary motions. So
Motions.
the definition of non-telegraphic and ambush style is of the highest level. That is where you should be good at, right? But continue unless our workout. So then it develops on your endurance better than you were. So it's always like when you do it, you're always one day better than you were yesterday. So it's part of the
Mm.
conditioning that you grow into. But yes,
Yeah.
we'll adjust to whatever, but not too early, because otherwise, that's a very specific example, right? So,
Mm.
but not exactly like changing already, because isn't that what I explained a while ago? The reason why the guy is not his best, why would he go to you? Because he wants to learn the best of you,
Mm.
because his best thinking is not the best in what you do. So you have to tell
Yeah.
him his best thinking is not going to get him out of his situation if he does not get rid of that best thinking. You have to get the best thinking of others. So it's not about the fighter adjusting. Are you adjusting to the fighter? No. Give him his objective, his goal, and it's better to aim at the stars. That's the saying. Aim at the stars and hit the
Mm.
moon than aim at the tree and hit a rock, right? So then eventually, when things go well with the discipline, then maybe you can direct that to what is good for him in his frame of mind, and frame of body, and all that stuff. Eventually, but it's a question of when do you do that. I think, to me, the student has to earn that first before me adjusting
Yeah.
to. No, because you won't
Mm.
know that, because also mental
Yeah.
toughness, the mental mindness, the discipline in the guy, in the individual's head, right, is not for you to define. It is for him. It has to
Yeah.
come from within, not mine.
Mm. Again, I think that's a balancing act, because there are certain things that you need uh, to put in front of your fighter or your student. You need to be able to bring him out of his comfort zone as well. So if you there are certain things that you need to like make him do to change his ways as well.
So
So
right. So it's kind of like going to uh, Father Mayweather, the coach. Coach, I want to learn from you because you've been teaching the best. Or to the coach of Pacquiao, what's his name?
uh Freddie Roach.
Freddie
That's it.
Roach. Freddie Roach.
Mental block.
You go to Coach Mayweather Senior, and I'll tell them I want to learn from you, but in my own way. Which is silly, isn't it? It's like,
Nah.
wow, ridiculous, ridiculous. Anyway, it's not meant to kind of sarcastically, but I think it makes sense here.
Yeah.
Give your best, learn first, then then you do your own way of defining what your strength is. After you go to the highest level of effort, discipline, training, then you will have your own style eventually after that. Freddie Roach, that's right, Julius.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know Julius just had that mental block. Think comes with the age.
My shout out to my brother Isagani. Guru Isagani, I love you, man.
Oh,
Salamat.
hi Guru Gani.
Isagani,
Yeah.
abon.
Yeah. John made a comment here. Training recovery is not pretty, so people don't want to go there. Um, I wonder what this is more specifically about. John, would you elaborate it a little bit more, please, so that we can address it? Thank you. Uh, Guro has had students find success in sparring, fighting, tournaments by simply following his teachings.
Well, that's very biased comment because Carlo is one of my was my one. So that's biased. But I'll take my time, Carlo. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, well, Rudy actually seconded him with it.
It hurt me when Carlo, he was my champion, man, moved to Texas. Um,
Well,
I'm only teasing you, but you know what? Carlo made the best of myself because he got so good at, and I was getting beat up by Carlo. So that is the beauty of you guys embracing failure, because then you're able to trim this side here, kind of, for the
mm,
better, go for tactics, get more pairs, more combinations, get more speed by internalization of cardio and all that stuff, man. Because Carlo was beating me up. You know how these guys work out? He worked out of all what I was doing, I was teaching. So But this guy did the extra mile. What did he do? He worked out with the body weight. Oh my God. Aside from the Big Daddy, we use the Big Daddy. It's plyometrics, right? So you use heavy stuff for the conditioning, and then there's methodology.
Mm, mm, mm,
Time to
mm.
explain that, but Carlo was doing
So it's still overloading it.
that, and Carlo was. So I said, "Man, you're leaving," but of course I'm happy for him because now he has a beautiful family, and we will still be part of each other's lives forever. So that's a given. But the thing is, man, I lost my sparring partner. So I like you, brother Carlo. Guru Carlo. Oh, there's another
Yeah.
McFatries. The only thing is, this guy is in Waco. One of the best students is the beautiful mindset of fighting. Tom, this is one guy that I highly recommend in your interview. Tim McFatry.
Tim. Tim. All right. I'll put him in the list.
His,
Tim, I'm gonna connect with you.
his lineage is Hartzell, Larry Hartzell.
Wow. Okay.
Wait. Larry Hartzell and Edgar Solite. There you go.
Okay. I'm definitely going
This is
to
special.
to.
Aside from weapons combatives and Larry Hartzell, right? He's into submission wrestling. On combatives. Unbelievable, this guy. This guy is a good. He thinks like a chess player, right? This guy. And their buddies Carlo and Tim. I'm gonna go see them soon. I used to see them every year, a few times a year in Texas. Yeah.
Oh, definitely, definitely. I would like it to be in the show, Tim.
And in your award as in award in that Laredo event, big event by Professor. Uh, Give me some lines here so I can plug that a little bit.
Help us.
Oh, there you go. There's John here.
Okay. Recovery happens after a mistake or failure of execution of a technique. How fast can you get back on track? Or okay, all right. That's clear. Thank you, John.
That recovery depends on your mental mindset and your training. So that is really an individual thing. That's why people, even of the highest level, like SEALs, Rangers, military, police, and all this stuff, right? They go through training. So
Yeah.
yeah, so they are used to stressful environments. So if ever they panic, they recover fast because of that experience.
Yeah.
And for the other citizens to say that they don't fight, or they don't even have to say that, but the lack of experience and teaching combative does not make sense to me because you don't
Mm,
know, you don't have the data or information to back up what you say works or what doesn't.
yeah.
It doesn't make
Mm,
sense. So
yeah. Yeah. I think yeah. It's yeah. The your experience in sparring actually allows you to recover fast eventually, because that's when you start like realizing that okay, this are the mistakes I made. I need to adjust it now. And without the experience of sparring, that is going to be all theoretical for you.
correct, beautiful. Carlos said he's been hit by more times all of all of you combined. I know, Carlo, you're a champion, man. You made me better. And the Tim McFatridge event that he was going to be given a Hall of Fame award in Texas is by the event by Professor Buitron. So
Ah,
yeah, so exactly. Thanks, Tim. Miss you
yeah,
too, Rudy.
right. Rudy said real violence is ugly to experience. Yeah, of course.
Exactly,
Yep,
exactly.
it's not pretty.
So when I teach, that is the context of the environment that I use in the science of my teaching based on that reality base, right? But I don't say you're gonna get killed, you're slash here, I don't do that. I focus on the science, which is the geometry and all the stuff, which will give you the leverage. So we are a
Yeah,
positive approach rather than the
yeah.
negativity. Right? I was
Mm.
asked so many times by people, have you ever used this in reality? I said no, not yet. But some of the people I taught have saved their lives because they are officers in the prison facility, and it has saved them. And some of the fights too they did. So maybe because of my energy, I don't I'm not into the violence of violence. It's some like good people from the police and military when they're
Mm.
off duty, like the police, it kind of they carry with them the energy of that. That's why they end up saving people and even after work
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's the vibration principle in the law of attraction. Somewhat, I'm not here to lecture that, but that is the energy you project. So
Mm. That's true. That's true. Some people can still manage to like avoid violence by just smiling.
I
Get a killer smile.
so my approach is into the science. So
Yeah. 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 I mean, violence is ugly, and you can't. I mean, it's also like unpredictable. But as long as you manage to apply science in your preparation,
yeah,
okay, it becomes basically it gives you the chance to be to become more prepared than
well,
yeah.
it's a leverage. So that's it.
Mm,
When you have the science into your internalization, it gives you the added leverage. For example, the element of surprise gets to you too
mm,
because of
yeah.
that non-telegraphic striking and the impact of what you do, which is ambush. It cannot be seen, so therefore it is hard to counter all of those things. You have better endurance because you have speed, power, timing is impeccable, and all that stuff. So that's also when you put the science aspect, which is plyometrics. So all of those things, man, it is what martial arts
Mm,
gives you, and that's a beautiful thing. The only thing
yeah.
you have to get your feet wet and do it. It's not all about discussions and talks and from the coaches. It is really more of an individual expectation. Really, it is what do you do to improve yourself. So
Yeah.
it's not for everybody, but that's the uniqueness in this world. Who am I to say that I am the standard? That's silly. Um, but each
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true. That's true. Okay. I think I've maxed out my questions for you.
Well, maybe some people can
Yeah, and
ask.
I'm really glad that there's a lot of people who keep on interacting with us
Mhm,
because it makes the discussion more dynamic
mhm.
and it makes the interview more alive.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So I part of this because of the positive energy I go with my approach, be it I only have one guy or no guy to work out with, I still train, and the fulfillment gives me the joy, right, because of being able to accomplish that. Um, and I know it's gonna do good in my body because of the repetition of correct, you know, application, all that stuff, blah blah blah. But you know what, it attracts a lot of good things, like for instance being able to have opportunities to teach somewhere out of the blues, and being able to see a lot of different countries, from again from North America to down South America to even as far as Australia, UK, all the stuff I can only share with you, but in a modest way, by saying that it is your good energy that will attract good energy. So not focusing on the violence, but into the science of it, because it's about chess in real time. So
Mm.
but that kind of requires some sacrifices. But I hope you don't focus on that. Like, oh my gosh, that's gonna be hard. You got to look at it on another point of view. Getting fulfilled if you do the workout. So
Yeah.
mindset, right? So
Yeah, that's true.
so Brett
That's
was
true.
saying about triangles. Is that a question, right? Triangles. Um, I'll tell you
Um,
this. I'm not so fun. This is my preference. I'm not a fan of triangles. Why do I go on the side? I can intercept you. I finish you half beats. And I've done this like over and over thousands of times. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I can probably outsmart you by not being able to see when I'm going to go apply it, how am I going to apply it, and to what extent, right? My
mhm,
rhythm is broken rhythm. So triangles,
mm.
sure, maybe it works for some people. Why not? Like, Aikido is triangles, which is good. But I prefer really WTF. I prefer that acronym WTF. You know what does it mean? What it means?
What?
Weight transfer
What
forward.
is it?
Uh, because that is the one of the elements that is required for interception, with the weights
Hmm.
transfer forward. So even in
It's good.
medium to close quarter with joint locks or manipulation for counters to finish, right, self defense, uh, because of the weight mechanics gives you the advantage.
Hmm.
But that's not. It's easier said than done. That has to be backed up by sound lower body, because balance is the essence of everything.
Yeah.
Do a counter if you don't have the right balance, so
Yeah. That's true.
that's
That's
the
true. That's
triangle
true.
in the balance. That's correct too, in a way. So Brett, apologize. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
so big with my footwork of the triangle, but when it comes to the CQC or medium range to close quarter, you gotta have your triangle. When I say triangle, your footwork is this your left foot, right foot, and when you're doing like this,
Yeah. The
I
positioning.
call this, my foot like this. I call this squaring up. The problem with this is that your force is very limited because you go forward, backward without so much balance. So if there's an incoming force, your problem is that you're gonna go backwards, right? So how are you going to
Hmm.
counter a force? Physics, right? It's
Yeah.
physics.
Yeah.
So to be able to do, if you want to counter and go for an interception or respond, it's better that you go for a. That's what I call triangular, rather than squaring up. The squaring up is
Yeah.
triangle. So you have a better structure in your lower body, and you can do
Yeah.
counter. But if they say about triangular going to the 45, I'm not so big in it, really. I prefer interception or backward and then go for an interception. But in the medium to close quarter, if I go also to a little bit of 45, but close to the body, because when you go sideways to avoid, that is also to say that you cannot also reach the guy. How are you going to go finish? Problem
Yeah.
is
Yeah. Yeah.
instituted
Yeah.
by the bad guy,
Hmm.
right? Or on the sparring. How are you going to end up if you can't reach the guy because you went to a triangle 45 degrees away? So I think the lack of
Hmm.
um, details of this question gets me into a different.
That's fine. Okay. Robert. Okay. Robert said everyone can be surprised, caught off guard, even the greatest in the world. Experience dictates how well you react after, especially on a battlefield. That's very true.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah, yeah. Because it's also about the psychological aspect of it and the mental aspect of it. It's not just physical. So when you expose yourself to like sparring and everything, and you already feel all those like moments where you freeze because you made a mistake, basically you learn from it. It allows you to get back soon.
So
Yeah.
be careful about this guy Brett Reese, because he says he's everything in life as a triangle. Man, that's heavy. So I gotta watch.
And even a
He's
circle.
gonna kick my ass. This guy is deep. Well, thank you for Brett. Thank you.
Oh, Dean is asking why there are two parts. Dean, we got cut off. Sorry, I don't know what happened. So we have to start again. Well, but I mean, not again from the beginning. Just right. But I mean, um, I don't see any more questions here. Um, have you got anything as a last word? Have you got anything? I know you have already like um, said a lot of things that could be addressed to the FMA community, especially when it comes to training. But have you got any afterthoughts that you want to still say,
Yeah,
address the
yeah.
FMA
The
community?
FMA community in general, and that includes me. So that a lot of these fights, specifically MMA, because of UFC and all that stuff, they became really, really good fighters, right? They become whole fighters. They become so deep in their understanding and in their internalization. Man, it's like no other like the past 5, 10, 20 years ago. It's different now. Because you know why? Because they learn from each other, you know. They study their opponents. They see their weaknesses and they work on that weaknesses. Only the opponent with their weaknesses, they revise their weakness because they can see each other. It's no secret. They has the videos out there and they study those in great detail. Okay, why am I saying this? In FMA, it's so much secrets. Woo! I will not show my stuff, my sparring, my because this is secret to the system. Really? I mean, human beings. What? How many years? 10,000 years, 20 years, 20,000 years of fighting, and you have a secret? Come on, that's all the ego. Let's learn from each other. We get better when we try to put out, how we behave, how we perform, and all this stuff, right? So, or at least I don't even need to see, but be truthful to yourself and to your tribe. Get into the aspect of sparring so you learn and you get better to your beliefs and you can share your beliefs to others because of the information that you learn from failure. The reason why aviation, as an example, like airlines and all this stuff, became so successful, their accident rating is better than almost anything compared to a lot of the. I don't want to get into that, but the example of black box thinking is the book, a bestseller book that will change your mindset and understanding about certain things that people learn and become better because of the subject of failure versus in the medical field wherein a lot of people die 40 to 100,000 sometimes all in the same cases. But what happens, the doctors cover it up, the medical facility cover it up because of insurance or their image is tampered or blah, blah. So they don't
Mm,
learn from the same mistakes over and over and over and over and over. But airlines,
mm,
there's a
that's
crash
true.
or there's an incident, they congregate and study this and they learn from each other, the FFA, whatever, and from different countries, and they share that information. They become better. What's the problem with FMA? No, it's a secret. So what I do see in YouTube is the bam, 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 bam. I'm not saying that that is bad, but maybe that is their definition of their sparring. But still, uh, at least they put it out there. But I want to see, or at least I don't want to see. That's not my business. But don't be afraid to test it out, even within your peers. Or if you're the grandmaster, that you take leadership by example. You should be the one to say because you're the one spreading that doctrine of what you believe. And with testing,
Mm,
come on, that's really a lot of ego. How are you going to go learn? How are we going to get better as a FMA community when we have this so much? This is mine, is secret. I think it's better that we should have an event and not focusing on the money aspect of it, and maybe learn from each other. This some things that happens. A few events have been going on, like it's barbecue and all. There's no formal program about this. They just show up in a park, and I've been there too, and I love it. I love the atmosphere because I'm not even there as a guru, but I see a lot of good friends, new people, and there's
mm,
barbecue, and you spar if you want to, and not. And if you there's somebody teaching there, we can congregate and listen. That's a beautiful thing, man. It's a sharing. It's not about who's the star. Nothing. Nobody's the star, but it's all about sharing. I like
yeah.
that concept.
Mm,
But hopefully,
yeah.
you don't get into your ego about your system because the only way to learn about this is through performance. So if I were you, study the videos. Everybody has that technology within our grasp. But if I ask my student, did you video yourself in how you train, how you move, how are you going to go evaluate that you're doing a good job in the principles of science that we cover? The only way to go about it is see yourself perform. It is not anymore about 20
Yeah.
years ago technology. You buy a super VHS this big, costing $5,000. Now you use your phone, right? And you can just when you have like on a break, study it or before you sleep. I'm able to talk this way,
Yeah.
not ridiculous to say that I'm saying that I'm the best. Stupid. That's not true. I am a student, the best student more than all of you because I'm open minded. But here's the thing why I am always a student is that I watch how I perform. I try to evaluate objectively my mistakes and how I can improve it. So I evolve. Not to say that my approach is the best because I know somebody's going to kick my ass one day. So I want that to happen so I can learn from that thing. But if somebody does can kick my ass, I will challenge you. Where? You know where it is, right? Buffet. I will challenge to a buffet. But seriously, that's the message I want to give to the FMA community.
It's actually a very
Don't
fitting
be afraid.
message to the
If you
community.
go for your
Um,
preference is close quarters, but go for it with non-compliance, and see
yeah.
if the concept of combatives really is defined in that scenario that that's your definition.
Mm,
Learn from it, see it, spread the word.
yeah.
But until then,
Um, Rudy added, also give credit to where credit is due to those that came before you, which is which is also good. Would you like to invite them to your seminar in North
uh,
California?
I don't. Yeah, I have a one coming up in San Jose, in the Academy of ADF. ADF is San Jose. I have actually. I'll post the flyer. I repost the flyer on Facebook so you get the chance to see it. The owner of the school is Guru Edgar Gabriel. Is also a good friend of mine. He's one of the most open-minded practitioner of the arts because he's under really, really good lineage, coming from the best or the most popular instructor in the world, the ambassador of all martial arts, who has no negativity in his approach at all of as he sees all the systems as beautiful. And as for Guru Dan, he has also from Jason Inayan, he's also from Willie Loriano, also from me. So this guy Edgar Gabriel is the host of my seminar February 19th in San Jose. I'm planning to do Los Angeles pretty soon. Hopefully we're all more ready. So but I do always have my class. I conduct my private and group sessions here at home. So please feel free to connect with me through Facebook or whatever. Hello, say
Yeah.
hi, because your bliss is my bliss. And if I get to know you, I think that's as an added blessing because I got to know you and enjoy this journey by knowing somebody else as passionate as I am in this journey. So
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I think that wraps up our interview.
you want to go one more? There's a question. There's a by
Oh yeah. Okay. Where's that? Where's
Brett.
that from? Brett. You had mentioned animals earlier. When two meet to fight, their eyes are focused on each other's hips. What do you think focus exists on in
Well,
us?
I think I don't know what you're talking about, Brett. So I don't know.
Maybe it needs a little bit more of elaboration.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Kuya Dean.
Okay.
I hope you had a good event.
Oh yeah.
Let's. I'll call you. Let's talk. Share with me your beautiful experience. All right, sir. Dean is a loaded guy, man. So all his background is impressive. My kuya.
Yeah. He's now known as Dimpanko.
Yeah.
Dimpanko. So anyway, Guru Roger, I thank you very much for giving us your time and your wisdom and being our guest here in the FMA discussion.
Well,
Yeah.
I want to thank you for this opportunity to give me this chance of venting you. My now you get the chance to hear my babbles, my rants, and all that stuff. Uh, but that's those are just my 2 cents. The rest is up to you. I hope all of us live a good life. Of our choices is based on our bliss, right? So you all have a good life, and what a blessing to get this time with you guys at this moment. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Dean, and thank you all.
Thank you very much. Thank
Thank you so
you.
much. Appreciate
And I'll see you when I see you.
it.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay. Enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you very much. Okay, so there you go, guys. Episode 254 with Guro Roger Agbulos. And again, I apologize for the technical issue that had happened. So that's why there is a part two. I'm sorry, Dean. I don't know what happened, but anyway, um, again, if you want to catch him in his seminar in North California in San Jose, it's going to be on the 19th of February, 19th and 20th. So connect with him or connect with Heil as well. Okay. So this is Guru Tong Pena for FMA discussion. If before I go, if you missed the whole discussion, it's gonna come out in YouTube. If you haven't subscribed in our YouTube channel yet, please do so. Okay, and don't forget to like as well and comment in our YouTube channel. Thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening or your day, and see you next time.